Let's take garbage and make it shine. This whole project is asinine. Waste some time with me, I can guarantee this old junk will soon toe the line.
We're polishing turds, mediocrity curd. I can't find the words, this song is absurd. We're polishing turds, we're polishing turds.
Alright, real good stuff, doers. It's time to polish some more turds. First of all, if you're catching up on where we're at in the second season of Polishing Turds, I'll post a link in the description that'll have the playlist, and you can get up to where we're at right now. Also, I was recently at the PRI show, and I use Fordham grinders, electric grinders, to do all my port work, have for a million years. And evidently those guys are fans of the show, and they saw that I was using their grinder on YouTube, and came up and gave me his super snazzy Fordham electric hat. So I'll probably be using it to keep metal shavings out of my hair and whatnot today. So that's pretty cool. But anyhow, let's look at what we're doing here. So this is going to be similar to what we did in the first season, but different application. These heads are probably out of the box a little racier than the other ones. It seems to be, anyhow. Now I always start out measuring my cross section, or minimum cross section area, and on a small block Chevrolet, generally speaking, that's at the push rod, right? So the area right here, see, I've got this workbench doubles as a notepad, and I've got all this wrote down. So our height is 2.17. That's the height right here at the push rod. Width 1.125. That means our area is 2.44 square inches, right? So at the push rod right here, our area is 2.44 inches. And with the calculator that I showed you on the first season, that works out where our theoretical peak possibility is at 6650, right? So what that means is, doesn't matter how we cam it, what intake we put on it, it's not going to make peak power past 6650. Now, where that matters is if you're trying to make a lot of power, you've got to be able to turn the motor to keep making more power. So if you're stopped at 6650, that's a hard wall, and that seems to work out all the time. Except in our case, we're blowing it in there, so it's less important, right? We can push the thing right on past it with a supercharger, right? But we're still going to try to get some more area. It'll do nothing but help. And so we'll see if we can get a little more here. We won't be able to get a bunch without getting crazy, and I don't want to do that and get myself in the welding a bunch of stuff. But we're definitely going to get a little more out. We'll see how that goes. The bigger thing is on the bowl side, this valve job, intake and exhaust, 50, 55, actually did really good. As far as blending into the chamber. Like, I could put these together and not do anything to the chamber and it would look great, which is rare. But the 50-degree seat here, one of the reasons we do that is it allows us to open up the throat a little more, right? So this area right here, we got an edge we can take out now and broaden this, open this diameter up, right? And that'll help things. We can make it blend to the short turn here a little better. It gives us some options. So we're going to open the bowl up a little bit. We're not going to go too crazy in there. The bigger factor would be the exhaust. We've got a 55-degree seat here, and like the main reason we're doing that is so we can get this throat bigger, right? Now, in a perfect world, I might cut this throat out, or cut this seat out and put a larger seat in there and get some more area underneath the seat. But we're not going to do that right now. That'll be for maybe season 6 of Polishing Turds. So stay tuned. But for now, we're gonna open this up a little bit and get some more percentage of exhaust valve throat diameter, right? We're gonna probably work on the bowl a little bit. It's already pretty nice. The bigger thing is the exhaust port. We're gonna make this bigger for sure. Supercharged motors are all about this, getting this exhaust out. So you can go crazy here to a certain extent, right? You can definitely go farther than you would in a naturally aspirated situation, right? If you go too big here, you might kill torque at 4,500 or whatever, and you might hurt how it comes up on the converter or whatever. But the blower doesn't matter. We're going to get up there, and we're worried about what it makes past that. And generally speaking, with the supercharger, it's going to make more power everywhere when you open this dude up. Now, in our case, this thing has header plates, right? Because it needs broader header bolt dimensions. So these subplates adapt the bigger primary tube headers to the head, right? So the bigger ones use these holes instead of these. So you need a subplate to adapt the two. And so we're going to have to open this up as well. And you'll see what I do is I've used the cone head bolts I torque these into place like it's going to be run. And then I'll number them so they go back in the same place, because we're going to open it up enough where we get into them. You'll see when we do that. But we're gonna make significant size changes in here in the exhaust side. All right, so let's get started on the intake side, move some metal out, and see what we get in that department.
All right, progress report. Let's see what we've accomplished here. If you'll look at the entrance to these two ports, I don't know how it's going to look on this camera. This one's kind of shiny, the other one's not. But our difference here at the very entrance where the gasket sits is nothing. We've taken no metal out, or as least as possible right there. So the size here is actually exactly the same. Now inside here, we're different. We've opened up a little bit. We raised the roof a little bit, and we actually got a little bit more out of there than I thought I was going to be able to get. So so this is the all important right here, where the push rod at is our super important critical pinch area, right? And you know, this part is so important that Metallica actually wrote a song about it. It's called Nothing Else Matters. And if you don't get this right, you'll be unforgiven. It's sad but true. Anyhow, let's look at our math over here. We were at 2.44 square inches, and that would choke at say 6650 or so, this size of motor. Now we're at 2.63, and that should choke at 7170 or so. So that's every bit of a 500 RPM gain, and that's a little more than I thought I'd be able to get. So I'm kind of happy with that. The port looks pretty snazzy in there, but you would expect no different on a TV show called Real Good at Doing Stuff. So nothing new there. The chamber, just cleaned this up a little bit. Didn't really do a whole lot because it was actually not bad to start with. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. My only complaint is right here. Whoever did, maybe this is how it was from the casting or not, but whoever originally had done some work in here, it's a little dug out right here, especially for a 50-degree seat angle. Not the end of the world, but like in a perfect world, I would have more metal in here. We're not going to lose any sleep over that one little spot. Exhaust port, much improved. Biggest differences, we're going to be significantly larger out here on the exterior, right? We're a supercharged motor. We got to get this stuff out. So you can see we got a pretty big difference here to here. Now I'm going to bolt these subplates on, and we're going to talk about that for a second. All right, now I've got my header subplates bolted on. The steel plate that goes between the header and the head. The reason we do this is because these have big primaries, and the stock or the factory bolt pattern will constrict that. So this allows us to expand out to the stall pattern, and that gives us a lot of room more for primary size. Now to do this, I've numbered each one of these bolts so they can go back in the exact same spot. Sometimes you got to get in here and you'll flat spot one just a little bit, but in these heads I actually don't think it's going to even do that bad. But anyhow, now I'm going to port the subplate to match the cylinder head. There's a lot got to come out here a good bit, and that'll fix that up. And these are numbered, so when they go back in the exact same spot, they should torque and pull to the exact same direction. So if we have a flat spot on this bolt, it'll line right back up. Alright, here we go. Subplate is cut out now. There's no edge in here. You can see we got into our bolt. We got a flat spot on our bolt here, but that's why I number them. So when I torque them back in, they'll line up right in the same spot. And you can see how much bigger we are than this is one that's basically stock. Pretty good size. And don't interpret this as take any cylinder head and just make the exhaust big. That's not at all what I'm trying to convey here. With this particular type of motor, we do need to get some size here. All right, well, that's pretty much it for our head porting episode. We've got some other parts come in, so very soon we'll be filling the block and honing it and getting it ready for assembly. Really, there's a pistons showed up the other day, so we're making some progress there. Merch at HarrellEngine.com, and we'll see you very soon.
We're polishing turds. Mediocrity cut. I can't find the words. This song is absurd. We're polishing turds. We're polishing turds.